views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised.
Ghost stories,
folklore,
psychics and mediums,
shamanism,
paranormal investigations,
haunted locations, and all that other weird shit.
You're listening to the Traveler's Moon Podcast
with the Paranomad, Chris Nielsen,
and Kelly McCarville, Moonspinner.
Here are your hosts, Chris and Kelly.
Well, hi.
Woo! We're live.
It is another amazingly wonderful
Wednesday.
I almost said Friday. I'm
It's
like
not
jumping
Friday.
ahead to the end of the week. That tells you how my week is going. I want it to be Friday. Friday. Because Friday we do what?
It's the weekend, so we drank.
Yes, but not where I was going.
I know you're segueing into Haunticon.
See, I try to put these wonderful little segues in there for you.
And I
you just
intentionally
blow
butcher
it.
them. Absolutely butcher them.
So mean.
I'm just trying to keep things interesting. So, why are we talking about, why would we talk about Haunticon on the show? Well, I was going to segue you into introducing our guest.
All right, we'll get started here. So tonight, we are actually, the reason that we're doing this show tonight and the reason we asked our guest to come on tonight is because Chris and I are Traveler's Moon. We're heading out to Haunticon, which is this Saturday, April 24th. And we have the host, the organizer, the extraordinaire person who put this all together, Miss Jamie Chad.
Jamie Chad.
How you doing?
Hi, Jamie.
I'm doing well. 3 nights. What is it? 3 nights before Hanukkah? Wednesday. It's a few nights before Hanukkah. I'm doing okay.
Does this tell you what it's like to plan an event? She's frazzled and cannot remember how many days we have, and I get that completely.
I don't. That's why I just show up.
That's so not fair.
I wish it was that simple for me.
Yeah, definitely. But it is a lot of work, but it is so much fun. It is fun too, and it's nice to be able to just watch it all come together. So
for sure.
Anybody who doesn't know what Haunticon is, what is Haunticon, Jamie?
Haunticon is a paranormal convention in Omaha, Nebraska. It's primarily paranormal, but I am also a huge cryptid person and alien person. So it's not strictly ghosts, although I would say most of it is. And of course, we throw in some more metaphysical things like you do. Not nearly as much as you do, but we dabble in some readers and things of that nature as well.
Absolutely. And this is not the first time you've been doing this show.
No, this should be the fourth. It is the third.
Yeah, we know how that goes. So.
Surprise, yeah.
We just roll with it, right? Just keep on moving here.
Just roll with all the punches. You're like, whatever.
But it sounds like it's going to be an awesome event. I'm super excited. I know we've been getting a ton of stuff ready and trying to get everything gathered up to be out there. But Chris and I are just going to be one of the many, many, many vendors who are going to be there. Do you want to share some information about who all you have coming?
Yeah, so the primary point of Haunticon, ever since I started it, the most vendors that I want are haunted locations from around the Midwest, although there are tons of other types of vendors like paranormal teams, lots of artists, like I said, readers. But my main goal has always been to bring a lot of haunted locations to one location. So people that were either knee-deep already in the paranormal or maybe interested in getting into the paranormal could go meet all of these haunted locations, learn a little bit about them, where they are, just their background and history, and decide if that is a location that they would like to go, potentially even maybe just take a tour of during the day, or something wild, like just go straight to an overnight. I just feel like it gets the word out about haunted locations easier than people doing. Sometimes your own research can be really exhausting because you don't know, exactly what you're getting into. And I feel like having a haunted location in front of you, you at least go home with more insight as to whether that's somewhere you would like to devote your time and money.
And I think that's such an awesome thing to do because, you can go out there and you can research, what's available and where the places are to go and everything, but it's hard to know if that's going to be a good fit for you to go to investigate, or for you to take your team to. And having these sites on location, it's really nice to be able to go around and chat with all of them. I know I had a great time when I was there last time, just chatting with them, and I probably was horrible. I spent time away from my booth because I was chatting with Missouri State Penn and Mansion, and just a lot of really cool places. So what all haunted locations, I guess I should ask, are you comfortable sharing who your vendors are going to be? I think you've posted most of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, I'm going from the hip right here. I don't even have a program in front of me, but I bet I can do pretty good. So let's see. Malvern Manor, McIntyre Villa. I am frantically looking for my program because I feel like I do know them all. But Malvern Manor, it's been I've been slept in several days.
I know that when I'm doing it, I'm trying to list off vendors too, and it's like, I know I'm not getting them all, but
here we go. Malvern Manor, McIntyre Villa, the Stevenson building, the Boyd House, which is in Minnesota.
Yep, we were at the
Garnet House Hotel. Oh, yeah, Garnet House Hotel, Granger House Victorian Museum, of course, for our schoolhouse. Let's see, I'm going down the list. Squirrel Cage Jail, Rails West, which is also here. Well, it's in Council Bluffs, right across the river. And those are all of the actual haunted locations. Some weren't able to make it just due to the rescheduling.
Right. Yeah. And that's bound to happen, but that's a lot of places. That's a lot of places to have all one spot where you can go in and learn about them. So I feel like I'm going completely out of order here and my brain's pretty scattered. So you kind of talked about how you started Haunticon. What got you into this area, though, into like the paranormal and the cryptid and all of that?
Oh, well, I mean, I've been a lifelong weird person dating back to, 3 or 4. However, I've been giving ghost tours since 2017. So that was just kind of the starting point for me was giving the ghost tours, and then it evolved into Haunticon.
Were you about to ask her to make a plug?
Yeah,
I was going to ask her to make a plug. So giving ghost tours, that sounds really interesting. Do you have like a place people could find information on that?
Right. Thank you, Chris, because you'd actually been on one of my ghost tours, remember?
I got you.
It is Midwest Paranormal History Tours, so I do them in and around Omaha. I have probably about 10 different locations, cemeteries, haunted parks. I do a Bigfoot one. Sometimes I take people looking for UFOs, do all sorts of fun different stuff in and around Omaha, and then I also do some for a local college, including Fort Omaha, an old fort here in town.
So, and we've actually gone, like you said, we went on one to Hummel Park, was it?
Yep.
And that...
Hummel Park's a weird place.
That is a weird place. Yeah.
It is. It's weird in a fun way. Well, it depends on your threshold for weird, right? we did have a weird night. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, but... no, definitely. I mean, I know that this is a show about Haunticon, and we'll definitely continue to talk about Haunticon, but I don't want to glaze over the fact that you wear an awful lot of hats, and you offer some really cool stuff out there. So I want to make sure that we just highlight not just the event, but the organizer, because I know how much blood, sweat, tears, and heart that you put into this event. So want to make sure to highlight you as well.
Yeah, well, fun fact that you guys wouldn't know, but I have never had a booth for my ghost tours at Haunticon because I'm so busy running the event that I certainly can't devote hours to sitting at a booth talking about my own, what I do. And now I have a child that's old enough to get other teenagers to run my booth. So I will, for the first time, have a booth like for my ghost tours. And Kinsley will do a great job of answering people's questions and things like that. So that's kind of an exciting part of Haunticon 2021 is I get to razzle dazzle in a little bit of what I do.
That is so freaking familiar.
He's just laughing as you're saying this. As you're telling me this, I'm like, honey, you have a teenager. There's no reason. But yeah, I get exactly what you're saying, because when we go and we set up for our expos, we've got 2 booths now, but Chris runs the Traveler's Moon one, but I do still have a booth set up. But yeah, I throw my teenager in there, and her and usually my son's girlfriend runs it. So
yeah, you got to. I mean, these kids, they can do it. They're fine.
Oh, she's got this. She'll be perfectly fine. So.
She will. She can give ghost tours. Yeah.
Oh yeah. She's a good time. And that'll be good. I mean, yeah, all the work that you put into this, definitely you should get an opportunity to highlight you and your business too. And good Lord, if we want to go on another tour this year, we better get one booked, because she's going to fill up after this. Oof. Okay, we'll have to find a weekend open and make a call. We'll phone a friend and see if we can't get a weekend set up.
Send a message over.
Yeah. So tell us some details about the event this coming weekend. Dates, times, locations. Maybe tell us a little bit about the location, because it's kind of a cool building.
Right. So this is a very, very unique year. My first year was in an abandoned slaughterhouse. There was a lot of pros to that. There was a lot of cons to that we don't talk about, like it being a freezer. However, fast forward to Sokol Auditorium, which is pushing 100 years old. It is now a concert venue. It's in a old bohemian neighborhood. It is on Saturday from 11 to 7, and we'll talk about kind of everything that goes on between those hours. But, Kelly, I don't even know if I've told you this. Sokol Auditorium has been sold. So Haunticon will be the last event at Sokol Auditorium, kind of as we know it, before it closes for what sounds to be some pretty major updating and renovations, because it was built in 1926.
Well, hopefully they don't take away from the structure too much and take it away from this historic venue that it is.
It sounds like they're going to, keep all of the fun history and stuff like that. But, older buildings need updated, and I'm not sure if that means plumbing, electric. I don't know what it means, but so yeah, I am very fortunate that I am able to do this, that the new owners worked with me to carry this on, and at least get through this before big things start happening at Sokol.
Yeah, no, I don't think you told me that. So, woof.
Yeah.
That's exciting and terrifying news all at the same time.
Yeah. But it's also very nostalgic. If you are from Omaha, or really even eastern Nebraska, especially if you're my age range in the 30s, a lot of times your first concert was at Sokol Auditorium, or a really big concert of your life was at Sokol Auditorium. A lot of grunge type of concerts in the 90s were there, like 311 and things like that. So Sokol really holds a heart in a lot of people in Omaha that are primarily in their, especially 20s, 30s, and 40s, maybe even into their 50s, seeing, some really cool, like Papa Roach type of concerts there.
Right. Yeah. No, and it's just such a cool old building. It's just this big, majestic auditorium building on a corner. It's so cool.
I feel so weird. I've never been.
You get to be a few days.
It's beautiful, and I love it. But yeah, I couldn't be more proud to be having it there at this pivotal time in its history, really.
That's really cool. We'll have to take lots of pictures.
Yeah, I know.
So we're getting a few questions in, so we'll start throwing some questions in as we go here. So, yeah. Have it?
Oh, okay. So I keep forgetting this isn't a live video show, so I'm trying to show Kelly, like, hey, don't worry, I got you, boo. I've got all of the questions written down.
That's why I'm looking at you.
So you're looking at me to ask questions. All right, Jamie.
Are we doing
Are
rapid
you
fire?
ready
Go.
for the question machine that is Darren?
Yeah.
I don't think you are.
I don't know, man.
Yes,
You may not be prepared for the questions that are Darren, but no, he's
okay,
awesome.
Well, if you watermelon, if I can't answer it, that's what I'll say. Watermelon.
All right.
All right. So first of Darren's questions, and they actually aren't really all that intense in the grand scheme of things. He's thrown us more wild curveballs. So Jamie, Darren wants to know, what's your favorite part of Haunticon?
I'm sorry. What was that?
What's your favorite part of Haunticon?
My favorite part of Haunticon is it is truly like the thing I'm looking forward to most is seeing people that religiously come back. There is a ton of people that have been to all 3 Haunticons, and then there are new people coming that either have never heard of it, saw it on Visit Omaha, whatever. But it is more about people kind of getting together, getting either introduced to the paranormal or getting to see people that they have known. It's kind of like a giant paranormal reunion for a lot of people. And then these new people come in and people just take them under the wing. And geez, I have like 100 best friends that I met at Haunticon. Like, true story, true story. Or, met through Haunticon, either they were a vendor or attendee, whatever the case may be. But it's a super great crowd. Everybody is super duper nice, and they are there. It's so crazy, the details that I pay attention to. And then people are like, Jamie, people might not care about that. They just are going there for the experience of the vendor booth and the speakers and the classes. And it really is like a giant experience is what it is. Did that answer the question? People are seeing the final answer.
I like it. And that's one of the things that we haven't really talked about yet. Not only is this an event where you have a bunch of vendors and you can come in and meet the locations and the paranormal teams, you do have presentations, actually 2 different sets of presentations going on all day long.
Yes.
So who all do you have talking? What topics are going to be covered?
So keynote speakers, we have Josh Hurd of Malvern Manor talking about Malvern Manor. We have Coyote Chris Sutton that will do a piece on protection. I am covering aliens, and an abduction story. Yep. I'll be doing
some booth for that, right?
Oh yeah.
We'll just put aside and be back later.
It's just complicated to Google extraterrestrial experts because you don't know what you're going to get, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Except for right. Except for Giorgio, who is probably $10,000, $20,000. So that's out of the question.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I don't mind being the girl getting up there talking about abductions, not my abductions, someone else's. CCPI will be doing Sasquatch. That is my mother's request. However, I love Sasquatch too. And then Johnny Hauser is doing, of course, he is the Liska Axe Murder House. However, he's going to kind of cover probably his whole life, paranormal journey.
Very cool.
Very cool.
That's pretty heavy hitters.
And it's so diverse. So as a UFO buff, how exciting has the last year or so been with all of the actual government drops on files on UFOs for you?
Okay, so excitement is not the word.
Oh my gosh, I'm stoked.
It's more like paranoia. I've thought about it way too much. I actually had a really life-changing experience in Leeds, South Dakota, just a year ago to the date earlier this week involving something in the sky that, well, first of all, I've not been shocked, Chris, by anything that has come out online, because I have been into the skies, UFOs, extraterrestrials since I was probably before I was 10. So nothing has been alarming to me. I'm like, I told you,
For me, it's the fact that it came out more than what's actually coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I get aggressive about it. I'm like, I told you so. I told you so. And so it's been a weird year for me because, yeah, I went through a lot of phases thinking, were aliens involved? Are they coming? You know? And the more I talk about them, maybe they're going to know that, like, hey, I know you're here. It's all good. You can leave me alone. It's just been a weird year, hasn't it?
It's been a freaky year. And that kind of leads, like, segue, because I also had a question, which segueing into it. So I'd heard, I say recently, but honestly, I think I'd heard it like 2 years ago. So that wasn't that recently. And it was an actual Bigfoot theory. And it was basically that Bigfoot could potentially be an alien. So if you think about it, like, no one's ever found like a Bigfoot corpse, which means somebody's coming in and harvesting these things up. And, it's taking them back to wherever they're coming from. And somewhere between that and the idea that maybe Bigfoot's a ghost from Neanderthal is also a cool idea to me. But I thought it was super cool that if we're being visited by aliens and they do happen to be Bigfoot, we're being visited by Wookiees, and that's badass.
It is, because Chewy's cool. So I will let you into a little insight of what it's like to live at my house. Of course, I'm a huge cryptid person and a huge alien person. My children are too. And just in the last year, we sit around and we talk about both quite often. And my oldest one, who just turned 16, she like really threw out some things that are way above her, her knowledge. And the way she put it, Chris, what you just said is, let's say you're walking through the woods, right? Even you're an outdoorsman and you see something that looks like Bigfoot, okay? Are you going to be able to handle that as a person better than if you see a gray in the woods? Most of us are going to at least recognize Bigfoot, whereas if you see a gray, who knows what your reaction is going to be. So, I mean, it's a theory. It's a theory that they are one and the same, related. Who knows,
So I tend to lean towards the theory that we've actually been contacted by grays back like in the 30s, 40s, like Roswell, all that stuff. And we've been slowly being bled images of what these aliens could look like. Mm-hmm. So that once they actually show up, we're not like absolutely culture shocked by it.
Yeah, condition. Yeah,
exactly.
Sure. Could be.
Well, we'll have to try to check out her presentation. I may have to let you wander off from the table to go attend her alien talk.
Definitely handle
right, or you could just like call me one night. We can like Zoom about it.
Oh my
gosh, yes.
I think we need to go to visit Jamie, and we can just sit around a campfire and drink and talk about aliens.
I'm surprised we're not sitting around a campfire visiting with Jamie talking about aliens right now.
Right? Come on. I got a fire pit in the backyard.
So shameless plug, in your lineup of speakers in the other classroom, Traveler's Moon will be doing a presentation.
Which, by the way, I just found out about.
I told you about this.
No, you didn't.
Never listen.
What?
You never listen.
Huh?
Surprise. Surprise.
I posted something about us speaking. He's like, and he messages me. He's like, what? We're speaking? Oh, good God.
Yeah, you'll be in the library. Yep. So your guys' class is one of them. I'm going to have a communicating with and respecting the dead. So just kind of, that's a culmination of how to approach it. I'm a very non-confrontational person. So that's kind of the approach with that class. One on some basic equipment like the FLIR and spirit box, and she might do dowsing rods too. I kind of gave her a list of some things that I would like covered. Another one I'm really excited for is cartomancy. I have a friend who's going to teach just the basics of tarot and getting into reading. So not how to read, but where to start and kind of just some guidance on that, because it is like learning a whole new language. And it's very, it can be a lot to take on and not knowing where to start. And then I get asked this all the time. I don't know if you guys, how to cleanse your house. And there are multiple ways, and there are so many ways and so many different types of things you can use. So just cover a few. So, people can go home feeling like, hey, maybe I could try this. And a lot of time that is about trial and error and the way that you like it, whether you like sage or Palo Santo, and all the different options out there.
Definitely. And then we'll be talking about just beginning ghost hunting, how you don't have to have all the fancy tools and equipment everything and just kind of how to find the locations, how to get set up with them, and
show up with your flashlight and your iPhone, and you're good to go.
Correct.
Start there, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So that'll be a good time. All right. What other questions do we have? I know you're making a list over there.
I'm making a list. I'm checking it twice, and Darren wants to know. So as far as like the actual Haunticon event, is there something that you haven't done that you would like to see at like a future event?
At Haunticon, look, so there is one person in particular that I would really love to have at Haunticon, not just
I'll
for
be here
myself.
this weekend, love. It's fun.
What? You're there? You're coming?
I said I'll be there this weekend, love. You're fine.
There is, I really make it a point that if there is something I want to do at Haunticon, I make it happen one way or another. Sometimes it comes to fruition perfectly. Sometimes, some things have to change. Obviously, finances play a big part in that. Traveling was a big part in 2021. There was a guy I really wanted to speak. It just didn't work out because of everything that happened last year. But I hope in the future he is one that I could get and see for myself and have other people see him too.
Mm.
His name's Marian Rudnick, and it is an alien topic.
Okay, that's why I kind of recognize the name.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I mean, I don't think there's necessarily, of course, no, man. One year we premiered a movie. This year we're having a live concert. There is some things that I have had that I was like, oh, that'd be really cool to do. But like I said, a lot of it boils down to time, travel, and big ticket items.
Yeah. And it's always something different, and it's something fun. So, no, I'm excited for the band after the event. That's going to be fun.
The first year we had an escape room. That was super cool in the slaughterhouse. It was and it was also escape room themed. I know you guys went there. The second year we had quite a few things different going on. And this year I'm having an exhibit, like a little walkthrough type of museum, that is top secret. You don't know until you go in, but it's something I spent a lot of time on. And it was the plan even before 2020 got canceled. But now that we postponed it, I've actually had more time to fine tune it. And I think I'm pleased with it just being a totally free experience that every attendee or vendor, volunteer, my mom, whatever, can go through, and spend 10 minutes doing it. It's kind of like a haunted house setup, but not like the haunted house that you walk through and people jump out at you. It's much more like a museum feel, and it's nothing fancy, but it is just something that is totally included for free that I find interesting. So therefore, I think that other people will have a good time too.
Yeah. Hey, you mentioned your mom, so I wanted to bring something up. You are going to be having a raffle, I think it is, at the event.
Yeah. So I do giveaways and everything. Oh yeah, and we'll talk about the photography contest. That's a fun one too. But last year, before COVID happened, my mother is an incredibly talented seamstress, and I had a ton of different vendors, haunted locations, donate T-shirts and sent them. Everybody mailed one to my mom, and she made a giant T-shirt quilt, like a paranormal T-shirt quilt, and it is amazing. I can't bid on it because God knows I'd win and it would look rigged. But
we can,
it is.
Right?
Yeah, you can. Yes, everybody else can. We can't. And it is truly one of a kind. It is a full size, queen bed quilt with. I think there's either 12 or 15 spaces on the quilt. I can't really think of it now, but
I'm picturing it, but I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say cool, it's 12 or 15, and it's just a bunch of different teams that sent us, and we combined some, and it has alien fabric on it, and there's some Bigfoots on it, there's a ton of ghosts on it, and it is really one of a kind. It's just kind of one of those keepsakes, that a grandma makes. It's going to be super cool. I'm really excited for whoever wins it.
Yeah, it is very, very cool. She's posted some pictures up on the event page, so definitely go check it out because I'm going to buy some tickets.
I'd buy a ticket.
I know, and she and I both, we made it and we're like, damn, I want to keep this. Like, I want to keep it. So I'm like, that's not, you can't, and I already have like 42 quilts that my mom made me in my house anyway, so, but it would have really been one that I would have liked to have had myself.
Darn, shucks, it got wrecked, guys. We can't auction it off.
No, yeah. So yeah, we're doing $2 a ticket or 3 tickets for $5 at my Ghost Tour booth. The kids will be selling the raffle tickets, but it'll be really cool for whoever takes it home. I would be super pumped if I won. I'd scream like The Price is Right for sure. And in fact, if you guys win it, I expect full on Price is Right screaming. Just so you know.
Okay, I will
start rehearsing now.
Yeah.
I'll scream, come on down, and it can be like a whole thing in the auditorium. Let's do it.
Well, now if we win, it's going to sound rigged, but
okay, that's very true. But just so you know, it's totally not like I just expect anybody to Price is Right it.
Yes, anybody should act that way.
So you mentioned the auditorium, which segues fantastically into the next question from Mama Pat. So you have all of these haunted locations at Haunticon.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Soul Coal Auditorium haunted?
So, I would say yes. Yes, I would. And if you talk to people that have worked there, the final answer would be yes. I mean, there's a ton of history to it. And the library that you guys will be teaching your class in, Kelly, it's very, very thick in there. It's very, very thick. And I walked in there, I had never seen it before, and I was like, whoa, this is a really cool place. And back in the 20s, that is where if you were a Czechoslovakian immigrant, you would go to Sokol Auditorium, every night, a couple nights a week to learn English. So the whole library has thousands of books in Czech in them. I took one home that's a fairy tale, and I had to Google it. But yeah, at night, it's a spooky place. Let's put it that way. Maybe not when there's a concert going on there because there's a lot. But when you're in there at night,
all by yourself,
setting up setting up, tearing down, it's big and, echoes a lot. And yeah, I would say yes.
Very cool.
I'm super excited now because by happy accident, I'm like an quarter Czech. It's one of the higher percentages of my mudness.
There you go. See, yeah, and obviously there's a lot of hubbub and a lot of people going on at Haunticon. There's no way any investigation is going on there, but just walking around and feeling the vibe of the building, it's very alive and nostalgic. And I would not put it past that there are some spirits wandering through there that are visiting there from the happier parts of their life or really life-changing part of their life, coming over and being welcomed into a community space like that.
Yeah, definitely. And there definitely will be too many people there to do any sort of investigating. And that's not what you're there for. We're not encouraging an investigation of the building. Please don't wander off into areas you're not supposed to, all that fun stuff.
No.
But
I could just get on the PA and be like, everybody be quiet. Everybody be quiet.
There's a PA.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe that's not a great plan, but it was an idea. Everybody shushing each other.
Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy. What a coincidence. Another segue into another question by Darren.
Okay.
So, do you have any crazy stories from Haunticon's past?
My God.
His question is, what is the weirdest thing that has happened and or the craziest conversation had?
Well, there's been a lot of really colorful conversations, but the slaughterhouse, hands down, I've been to a lot of haunted locations. The slaughterhouse was so busy, and I was very fortunate where I got a lot of time in the slaughterhouse over the winter before Haunticon, cleaning it up because it had been abandoned for a long time, setting up, measuring, stuff like that. we were hearing, you have to imagine, it's like a 15,000 square foot building, and it's all these freezers and the kill floor and all this. And I'd be standing in one freezer, my friend Ashley be in another freezer. We would think somebody would say our name. You'd turn around the corner to go look for them. Nobody's there. We had things moving. Like, I remember this shopping cart just kept rolling out of this one particular freezer on its own. Kinsley has a video. At the time, I think she was probably like 11 or 12, and she was Snapchat videoing someone. And she went into a freezer thinking that I was in there because she had heard something in there. And as soon as she goes through that, the plastic panels that are on a freezer, as soon as she goes through it, like something white, solid, but kind of like more like translucent, goes in front of the camera. Like, not an orb that's an inch or two, but like a foot or two orb. Oh, wow. The slaughterhouse was super noisy. Everything from, just thinking you were hearing things to actually hearing names being called. So it was a wild time. Never anything necessarily menacing. I don't want to say I was ever super scared in the slaughterhouse, like for, my safety or anything like that. But you definitely never felt alone. Never.
And that can be unnerving just on its own. When you're just not alone. You're not in danger, but you're not alone. That's the coldest night I've ever. We stayed the night there. Me and another gal. You had to sleep there, right?
I did just the night before Haunticon because I had a lot of expensive equipment, in there, and we slept in the only room that was actually heated. It was an office, and it was comfortable. But I tell you what, we froze. Like, I'm talking like going freezing or going camping when it's 32 degrees out, froze. And it was a bizarre experience because that office was actually super nice. We had Sub-Zero sleeping bags with us and cots. And she and I barely slept because not only were we cold, but hearing things all night long. It was really wild.
Oh, awesome.
So that's the craziest thing that I'd be interested to sleep overnight at Sokol, although I'm going to be in my own bed on Friday night. And we probably wouldn't.
We volunteer as tribute.
I'll do it.
I know, right? Gosh, I wish, yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah,
I'll sacrifice sleep.
Don't need to be functioning for a.
It's fine.
First day at Haunticon, it'll be fine.
Get me cotton candy bang, and I'll be good to go.
Oh my gosh! Yes, I love how we're all in agreement with this.
It tastes like cotton candy.
Gosh, it's so good.
I know.
For me, the carbonation almost kind of mimics the sensation of cotton candy in the mouth too, and that makes it just a little bit more closer to like the actual experience, and it's very strange.
Because I got it thinking it was going to be super sweet. The first time I drank it, I can't even imagine what my face looked like. Because I'm like, oh, it's a wonder it didn't dribble out of my mouth. So I'm like, oh my God, this tastes like cotton candy.
Yeah, it's good really stuff. Like I have enough energy that I actually don't need a Red Bull or a Bang, but those cotton candy ones, they hit the spot.
Honestly, so Kelly and I were discussing this. I'm genuinely surprised. Like, there isn't an energy drink company out there that like sponsors paranormal investigators.
Right?
I tried to get a sponsor. Not only did I try to get a sponsor for an energy drink because we do stay up all night.
Copious
amounts of energy drinks. Beef jerky,
oh hell yeah,
with the Sasquatch, but it just never worked out. That's okay.
Anybody else remember those old commercials, like the mess with Sasquatch, like the waka 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 ow ow ow?
No, Chris, only you.
Am I the only one that remembers messing with Sasquatch? Is it all like Jack's Links like commercials back in the day?
I don't remember the theme song.
Okay,
you just
so you're gonna have a great night. Go after the show, go pour yourself a glass of wine. YouTube messing with Sasquatch, like the Jack's Links commercials from like 2010-ish, maybe. Yeah. Oh, they're fantastic.
I don't remember the chicka chicka wow part.
It's like at the end of the commercials. It was the like. I've got a weird memory though for like innocuous details.
Yeah.
The weirdest memory, but I've never No, I don't know that. Fred wants you to do it one more time.
Okay, so Fred, this is just for you. Waka 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 ow ow ow. I feel like that's the show. We can
Watermelon. Watermelon.
We can go home now. That's all you need for the show.
Oh, Shay says she remembers, so maybe you're not.
Thank you.
Maybe you're not. You're as sane as Shay is.
I'll take it.
Take that however you'd like. Oh my gosh. All right.
Oh,
so where are we at? We totally just heard off course with your weird noises here.
So I'm actually, this is going to be kind of a tag team question. So Darren and Eye of the Beholder, I don't know the actual name of this person. If you're in chat, feel free to drop your actual name, but so Darren wants to know if you would have any advice for a new vendor. And then Eye of the Beholder also is wondering, do you think there's a certain time people should wait before like having their first vendor booth?
Okay. So if you're a brand new vendor, there are a couple things that I've seen in the past. I would want to make sure that I was established. And if I was part of a team, that I was an established team where you're not having team member changes, if you know what I mean, between the time you sign up and the time it's go time, because that can create actually quite a bit of chaos. Because from someone's point of view, like Kelly and I, who are putting on an event, a vendor really you have to be in charge of what's going on your end. And we cannot do that for you. If you're having changes in your teams and stuff like that, that's really out of the realm of anything that we should be getting into and switching tickets or anything like that.
Right.
Exactly. I would also say if you're going to be a vendor and you're going to commit to an event that is 5 to 8 hours, know exactly the point of your booth. Like, are we selling stuff? Are we trying to get social media followers? Are we truly just trying to get ideas out there? Are we presenting evidence, so that you know exactly when someone approaches your booth, what are you going to say to them? What is your end goal? I mean, some of these artists are trying to sell their paintings. That's a given. When you're a paranormal team, what's your angle here? Is it, because I mean, if I was a paranormal team and I was really looking to do something, it might be for nothing other than likes and follows, if you're trying to be present on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram, that has to kind of be your main goal, where you're not concentrating on selling t-shirts, selling art. You are just looking to network with people and get people to follow you, befriend you, things like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's actually very, very good advice. So do you feel like there's like and this is kind of falling back to Eye of the Beholder's question, then do you think there's a certain amount of time like people should wait? Like, is there a certain amount of time, like, hey, I just made my, paranormal team, 3 weeks ago. Should I start up a vendor booth at Haunticon?
I think personally, if I were to be a vendor, that would be way too early for me. Especially, like I said, if it's a team scenario where you're having multiple people involved, unless it was like you and your wife or you and your husband. I've just seen it go awry with teams before, where someone backs out and then all of a sudden you have one less person there at Haunticon to help you run your booth when you thought you were going to have 2 people, and then you're stuck at your booth all day and you can hardly go to the bathroom or get your hot dog. And I get your hot dog. Get your hot dog. But I mean, I don't think let's say you did start a paranormal team 3 weeks ago. I don't know that you would know enough about your goal and what you were trying to do to go do that, because you have to have stuff to interact with people with, whether that be evidence, t-shirts, something a little bit established to keep people at your table for more than a moment.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to add to that is, I think that as a paranormal team, especially, you have to be prepared to say, this is how we approach things. This is how we see things. This is how we investigate, and maybe have some of that data with you of things that you've done in the past, some examples of of experiences that you've had in the past, and then be prepared to answer those questions, because you're going to get the people who are all sorts of excited and 150% believers who are going to believe anything you tell them, but you're also going to have the people who come up and go, you're full of shit. And you need to be prepared to answer those questions too. So
you're in a professional manner, additionally, you know, and have open discussions about your investigation at Malvern Manor, Villisca, or wherever you may have been.
Yep. Yeah. Mama Pat made a comment that people underestimate the value of the networking that goes on at these expos. It's worth a lot. And it most definitely is. I mean, I've had a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, a lot of people. Well, I've gone to a lot of Paracons. I've gone to a lot of Haunicons. I've gone to a lot of expos, you know, and that networking and getting to know people. I mean, the opportunities that has been presented to us because of that, or that we have been able to present for other people, have a lot of them spawned from events like this. So yeah.
And I think also, you know, like with a vendor that is a haunted location, you have something very tangible to present. I own McIntyre Villa. You can come. Not I, but I'm speaking for Stephanie. I own a building. You can come investigate. This is what happens there. These are our prices. This is the availability. When you're a paranormal team, you're approaching it completely differently because you don't have anything tangible. And you want to have something very unique. Like you said, this is how we investigate, or this is how we do things differently than other teams, or potentially differently than other teams, you know, to capture people's interest and essentially network.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, like one of the connections, I'm just going to throw this out there. I mean, I know that you and I had met each other prior to Haunticon, but it was Haunticon where we bonded, you know?
Sure, yeah,
of course. The planning of it and the late night planning sessions and conversations that we had. So I know I gained a wonderful friend from it. So
as did I. And then, you know, I met Chris too. I mean, I wasn't joking earlier when I told you I had 100 friends from Haunticon, and that is not just vendors. That is also attendees that, you know, we just met at Haunticon and friended on Facebook, and here we are, you know, and years later.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do we have more questions, or do we want to?
We're out of questions.
Where are we at for time?
We are at,
because I promised this poor lady we wouldn't take up all her night.
We have 10 minutes left on the show.
Okay. So we talked about some of the haunted locations that we have coming. I'm trying to think what all we've talked about and what we haven't.
Well, let's say, 11 to 7. That's when it is. Vendor booth, vendor floor is open from 11 a.m. until about 4:30. We will tear that down. We'll do some giveaways. Johnny Hauser will be talking, and then the live concert will begin at 5:30 until 7. Some vendor booths will stay open until 7 if they are not in the main auditorium. So the speakers will go from 11, or actually I think the first one's at noon, so people can get in and, you know, find the bathroom, whatever, get their hot dogs. And classes to
gotta sell those hot dogs.
Right. The actual speakers go till 5, and the classes go till 4. So those are the bulk of the day. And kind of after about 4:30, we vibe after that. You know, there's going to be a concert. There will still be some vendors open. The little museum exhibit thing will be open. And that is really the best time to meet people, get a drink if you want one. And that can be alcoholic or just a Coke or water, whatever. And that's where you make new friends. And then doors close at 7.
Awesome. And I'll hesitate to bring this up because I don't know if there's any tickets left, but
very few. There are some at Haunticon Omaha. Last I checked, there were still some today for sure. I would suspect that we will do tickets at the door because Omaha is, although I'm not doing 100% occupancy or capacity at Sokol, we still have quite a bit of wiggle room to where I initially planned it. But at the door would be $40 cash only. And by cash, I mean cash. Whereas online, they are, like real, like $20 bills or 10s or whatever.
That green stuff.
Right ones. I mean,
No cash
whatever
app?
you got. Yeah,
Okay,
but yeah, no cards or anything like that
Okay,
at the ticketing. And but online at haunticonomaha.com, they are 30. So it is beneficial to do it ahead of time.
Excellent. Awesome.
So no Apple Pay.
You know what?
In the app.
You know what, Chris? I'm just not set up for Apple Pay. Not currently. No. I try to make.
Have you not heard him here in the background? He just rattled off like a dozen different pay things because he's a pain in the butt.
But and that would be ideal. But I have a lot of great friends that are volunteering for me. Well, no, I'm saying it because I have a ton of volunteers that come and help me, and that is I couldn't do Haunticon without Rhiannon helping with ticketing, and you just don't want to put that responsibility like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to use a whole new POS system. Like, no. Like, that's craziness.
Yeah.
There's a reason they're called POS.
But you know exactly what I mean. Like, first you do this, then you do this, and if their card's not working, you do this. That just sounds like a lot of craziness for everybody involved, so it's just not that simple.
Totally understandable. We require cash at the door. So, yep.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's old school, but it really, you hit the mark with it.
Yep, definitely. So we got about 5 minutes left, hon. What else do you want to share with us about this event?
Yeah, I mean, the tickets were a big one, and that they are still available. The online sales will end at midnight on Friday. We are going to have a ton of fun. We will have not only the live concert, the vendor, the speakers, the classes, the museum. We will have concessions there as well. Super cool, great building. Omaha's a great, great city, and the weather's supposed to be pleasant. I think it's supposed to be about 60. So all looks super. Yeah. I mean, all looks super great for this weekend. It's not going to be -30, and it's also not going to be 110. So
wonderful.
And
in April, you just never know.
You got snowed on recently.
And you're not committed to 11 to 7. You can come and go as you please. I'm sure some people come. Oh, the bingo. Oh, we do a fun bingo game where
the bingo.
The bingo. When you walk in, you can get a bingo card if you want. You visit the 9 booths on your bingo card, and once you have blacked out your bingo card, you return it to the bingo table, and then hourly we draw prizes. And when I added it up today, I mean, as far as financially goes, it's over $400 worth of prizes that'll go away for the bingo. That's everything from T-shirts, pins, hats. I know there's a whole $80 ghost certificate to Missouri State Penn in there. So that's a killer one. Just a bunch of different stuff from all sorts of vendors. And it's of no cost to any attendees. It's basically, if you want to play bingo, you do. And if you don't, you don't.
We'll have to remember to get her our shirts first thing. Because that's what we donated, just a couple shirts.
Oh, you on my list. I'll find you. I'll simply find you.
Well, I'll try not to make you hunt us down, but I make no promises. And
I know where you are.
So. I was going to say, I may just hang onto him to make her come and find me because I love that kid. So.
Well, she'll be actually very near you. So she'll probably just point at you
Well, good.
Like a movie.
I knew at one point you said she was going to be somewhere close to us, so I didn't know if that was still happening or not, but good. I love that kid. Mm-hmm. She's so good. She's a good kid. She's a good kid.
Okay, she is a good kid.
Very cool. Anywhere online we can find you. So say someone, for whatever reason, Fred looks like he's going to Insdale House because he thinks for some reason that's better.
What? What?
So say somebody can't go on to... can't go to the physical location of Haunticon. Where can you go online to find all of your stuff? It's at the very beginning. You need to pay attention to chat later.
I totally missed that he's going to... Okay, sorry.
Are you talking about you mean my ghost tours? Or are we talking about
Haunticon for your ghost tours, for you?
I'm talking cryptic. Okay. So the Haunticon website is haunticonomaha.com. Super simple. Mine is Midwest Paranormal History Tours. It's MPH Tours, like milesperhourtours.com. But if you Google Midwest Paranormal History, anything Ghost Tours Omaha, you're going to find me. I am not old, but I am an old soul. I really just do Facebook. I know I do all the other stuff, but
welcome to me.
You don't do the Twitter, Instagram?
Yeah, I do.
No
I
Instagram?
just, I
No
can't.
Flickr?
But we forget to
Maybe
use it.
Maybe someday. I just, because I don't look at it, so I just don't post to it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't
I'm
even
right
have a
there with you,
dishwasher,
Jamie.
guys.
Actually, I'm
like,
right there
come
as
on.
well.
Yeah. You're an old soul, though, too.
I literally don't own a dishwasher, so no, I really don't do the Twitter either.
And it's so funny because you're so organized and you have so much going on. And I'm like, hey, Jamie, what's your Skype? She's like, I don't have Skype.
Oh my God, that's because I don't want to get on video chat with people.
Whatever. You
I
always
didn't
look
even think
amazing.
people had Skype anymore, quite honestly, Kelly. I thought people just like FaceTime each other.
Yeah, well, we have to for the program. So, but yeah.
I could get a Skype, I guess.
It's all right. This works. So Midwest, I should know this.
Midwest Paranormal History Tours.
That's it.
MPH, like miles per hour.
And
Miles per hour.
Haunticon Omaha, you can go out to Facebook and find her under Haunticon. There's an event out there for Haunticon. And if all of that fails, you guys know where to find us, Traveler's Moon. Reach out to us. We will get you in touch with her. Definitely. We've got the event coming up this Saturday. It's going to be amazing. I'm super excited. But if you can't make it for whatever reason, some lame excuse like you're going to Hinsdale. Kidding. I love Hinsdale, Dan. I love you in case you're listening. But if you can't make it to this, be sure to check out Jamie and some of the other things that she does, other events that she's attending, those ghost tours that she does, guys. So many cool places. Hummel Park alone is worth going to. It's the weirdest, coolest, creepiest, high energy. It's awesome. But yeah, Haunticon. I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
It seems like it was forever. This is one that I've been waiting for. It's like, come on. So, yeah, we'll be in town Friday night with bells on. My offer sticks.
Okay.
If you need anything, just to reach out.
I will. Hopefully I'm doing good by Friday night and can just relax.
That would be wonderful. That would be good. So, April 24th, 11 to 7.
Oh, you're not letting me first sign off? Are we going to knock this sign off?
Are we good? Anything else you'd like to add, Jamie?
Oh my gosh, no, I'm great.
Well, thank you. I guess we should throw that in there. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
On Saturday morning.
I know, being an event planner myself, Mama and Pat and I host the expos. I know how crazy the week before the expo can be. So, Chris and I just wanted to truly say thank you for making time to get on with us and chat about this.
Of course.
But we definitely wanted to help get the word out there about it. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll
Alrighty.
see y'all on Saturday morning.
We'll see
See you on Saturday morning.
It's all you, Chris.
It's all me. All right. Ready to knock this sign off out of the park?
Go for it.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Traveler's Moon podcast. As always, I am your host, the Paranomad, Chris Nielsen.
They're going to think this is recorded because you always sound the same. And I'm Kelly McCarville Moonspinner.
All right, you sexy bitches. Thank you for tuning into the live episode of the Traveler's Moon podcast. I'm talking to everybody in chat. If you're not in chat, if you're listening to this after the fact, what are you doing?
You guys.
I'm not going to say we love you less, but we might love you a little less. Get in chat. We are live it's not true. We love everybody.
Ooh.
ELE, everybody love everybody.
We are live every Wednesday.
We're live.
Except every other Wednesday, except for the next show coming up.
Well, that was the best part of the sign off.
We will not be live.
Yes, so if you're listening to the live show, we'll be live every other Wednesday, except for this upcoming next Wednesday. Not this upcoming Wednesday, because we wouldn't have a show anyway. So this upcoming
except for May 5th.
Next Wednesday.
May 5th. We will not have a show that is
We're going to be in
live.
Nolans.
We're
I'll be in Nolans. I'm going to be nursing a hangover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a wild ride, folks.
It's going to be fantastic. Hopefully some live streams in there. So you're going to get some Traveler's Moon content.
Oh, absolutely.
Which you can find anywhere on social media at Traveler's Moon. You're looking for the live shows on the Traveler's Moon Facebook page specifically, though. So if you haven't yet, drop by the Traveler's Moon page. Give it a like, follow, and you can keep up with the live stream investigations, the live shows, everything Traveler's Moon does, like being at Haunticon this Saturday. I think that's all I got for the sign-off. We good?
Do keep watching. In a couple weeks, our wonderful producer is going to help us figure out if there is something that we can still air during our regularly scheduled time. It just won't be live is all. So we'll either replay one of our favorite episodes or we will share an episode that has never aired on Spreaker before. So it's a surprise. We haven't decided. For our next live show, which will be May 19th, we should have told Jamie this. I don't know if she's still on the phone or not. Our next live show, May 19th, we actually have Nash Hoover coming on. And he is a cryptid guy. So it's going to be super fun.
A little bit of Bigfoot next time you listen to Travelers Moon Live. All right, good night, you sexy bacious. That's all we got. A little waka 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 ow ow ow.
You're going to get us cut off here.
Most likely.
All right, love you guys. Have a wonderful night.